So after a couple of days, I decided to take a look at fucking the Nintendo Switch again and talk about the stupid ass online features that they've announced, or lack thereof, I guess, because the Nintendo Switch is doing the Sony and Microsoft thing and going fucking paid online, and people are treating it as if the fucking world is going under. Like you'd think it was something important, like Steam, that went paid online, but oh well. Hey, Steam! Don't you fucking get any ideas? And yeah, once again, no Nintendo footage, because fucking Nintendo and their claiming of everything that's vaguely on the internet about them. You get like a free trial from March until like summer or fall, and then it will go into the Microsoft mode and PlayStation mode. But unlike those two, you don't get any free games. You get like a free download of a Super Nintendo game or Nintendo game from the Virtual Console library that you're allowed to keep for a month. Um, Also, your account from Miiverse, fuck that. You're not getting that either. Like all the games you bought on Miiverse, like they already did that with the Wii U and the 3DS, but they do not carry over. They do not stay bound to your account. I just remember back when I bought a Wii U, it broke shortly after I got it, and I had to go out to the store, went back to GameStop, I'm like, hey, this shit is broken. They sent it to Bergsala, which is the Scandinavian distributors of Nintendo products, because Lord knows Nintendo doesn't want to distribute their own fucking products anymore. Not in Scandinavia, at least. And they ended up just sending me a new one, but my Miiverse account was already bound to the other fucking thing. So now I had to like email Bergsala and get like all my shitty Miiverse info off the old broken console, who I had to contact GameStop. I had to go to GameStop and go like, guys, you have to send that broken fucking machine back to Bergsala so they can remove that account from that machine, so I can have my own, so I can have my account on the new machine. For I had already made online purchases on the Wii, and while the Miiverse carried over from the Wii, of course, the fucking games I had bought on the Wii didn't. Like, I had to rebuy them, albeit at a discount on the Wii U Miiverse. And now they're saying that that entire thing I went through there is gone. At least it seems like, but it's gone completely. So more or less, I think what Nintendo is telling us, that the shit you bought on Miiverse is gone, mates. Like, if you want to play on Miiverse games, open up your Wii U, and play them there, cause you're not fucking getting them on your Switch. And I guess it's because Nintendo doesn't really have much of a modern library anymore. They do have great games like Mario Kart and Smash Brothers and fucking Zelda Breath of the Wind, Breath of the Wild, as I've said like 12 times. Looks fucking amazing. But that's like 5 games they put out. Like, they put out like 2 games of their own library a year, and then the indie community is basically what's putting stuff out on the Nintendo. Like, most of the releases on the Nintendo Wii U, most of the big, well-selling releases on the Wii U were fucking Shantae and Shovel Knight and other indie shit that's already on other consoles. Now you get the privilege of owning a SNES game or a NES game for a month, and then you have to give them back. And I assume that all your purchases on Miiverse are just fucking gone. Now, a lot of people are talking about like the exclusives, like, oh, we're paying $60 for a 6-year-old game. We're of course talking about Skyrim. But I'm pretty sure that if you went out and bought Skyrim Legendary Edition, Special Edition, or Remastered, or what the fuck they're calling it, Bethesda. It's still $60 on the Xbox and on this Sony PlayStation, so fuck it. Like, I'm so tired of talking about exclusives. Like, that was like the big thing we started talking about back when the PlayStation 2 was still around and we were moving into the PlayStation 3 and we were like, exclusive games. Like, I remember before that, all we were talking about was like Jack Thompson and bits and shit. And then when the fucking PlayStation 3 era came around, that generation, it started to become like, oh, fucking PlayStation has God of War 3 and fuck all else, and Microsoft Xbox has Halo 3 and fuck all else, and Nintendo has Wii Music. We're so happy. Like, I ended up just abandoning that console generation completely. Despite having bought one of each console, I ended up just abandoning this shit and just moving on to the next generation. Like, I just went back to my PC, and when the Wii U came out, I bought that. Didn't really expect it to do well. It didn't do well, but there were some really good games on it, and I guess that's just kind of what you can expect from Nintendo at this point. Like, they will throw out some good games, but that's about where they are. A lot of people are like, why don't they just become software developers? And I can see why you would think that. Personally, I'm like, why don't you just make machines that play all the games? I have a PC that plays most games, except like Naughty Dog games, I guess. Imagine if you had to buy the Philips DVD player in order to be able to watch Disney movies. Who would buy that? I guess we would be forced to if the film thing had turned out that way, but Jesus fucking Christ. Gaming needs to move beyond the fucking exclusive deals thing, because once you start getting to exclusives, it's like, yeah, Sony has Naughty Dog, and Xbox has Halo, and Nintendo has all their shit. And then it's like, oh yeah, but Nintendo's just kind of only doing their own thing, and Microsoft and Sony end up just being, I'm too lazy to buy a gaming PC machines, because they don't really have that many exclusives. I keep hearing about, oh, exclusives, but how many fucking worthwhile exclusives are actually on the Sony PlayStation 4 right now? I can name 5 games. I can't name any on the Xbox beyond Halo. And that one got pushed back. It's not even out yet. Like, I guess Uncharted and Bloodborne right now on the PlayStation 4. That's about it for exclusive, worthwhile PlayStation 4 games. Ratchet and Clank, maybe, which turned out to be a okay-ish remake of the original Ratchet and Clank, with lamp shading of how it's just a remake. I don't think the Xbox has No Man's Sky, but who wants to brag about No Man's Sky? I'm tired of hearing about Nintendo, again, fucking pulling this shit where they put out worthwhile hardware. I was like, when the Wii U came out, I was like, oh yeah, I can play on my Wii U in my room, and then my parents can use the TV in their house. But it doesn't even reach into my room. Like, the living room is just far enough away that I can't use my Wii U gamepad here. Nintendo really needs to rethink this whole paid online thing, because just nothing there of interest. Like, I can't do that on Sony either, though. I can't bring over I was like, I bought a new PlayStation 4, I only bought 2 games for it, because I thought, hey, I'll just use my other games, like the 12 games I bought on PSN, but they're not there. Not even games that I know are on both machines are there. Like, Journey is on PS4 and PS3. I can't play Journey on my PS4, so I would have to pay for Journey twice to play Journey on my PlayStation 4, so fuck that. I'm just gonna have my PlayStation 4 sit here, and right now I'm just waiting for Crash Bandicoot, and that's a remake. I could just play my old copies of Crash Bandicoot on my PlayStation 2, which is still here. I don't know if Sony thought I'd throw out my old Sony machines. This is becoming a Sony video, I'm sorry. Free online, like, a lot of people like, oh yeah, you're getting free games, complete free games on PlayStation, you're getting complete free games on Microsoft, like, what do you gain from Nintendo? You're getting fucking NES and SNES, cool. You're not even get to keep it, but like, technically you're supposed to be paying for online play. The free games you get on the PSN and the Xbox Live is marketed as them being gracious enough to grant us poor peasants actual wares in exchange for our money. Also, let's be real, the virtual console libraries, like 70% of their income these days are people over the age of 12. If they started giving that shit away for free, it would have to actually make a console with an OS that doesn't make game devs groan as much as they used to do over Apple. Probably won't happen. Apple used to be like, oh, there's no games on Apple. Now there's some games on Apple, but not much. Like, Valve started doing that whole, oh yeah, we run on Apple now, shit. And a lot of games are starting to be ported over there, but for many, many years, my entire childhood, the Apple was synonymous with boring machines that you can't repair because they don't have any extra parts. Like, if your Apple machine is broken, you can't just go out and buy a new graphics card for it, because the fucking thing doesn't support normal plug and play things. Or you had one of those fucking Apple computers that was just a screen with everything inside, so you can just open it up and start wiggling around in there unless you were a fucking guru. Like, I can fucking switch out my RAM and my fucking graphics card on a PC tower. I wouldn't be able to do that on a Mac. And I know I'm no genius, like, but still. Oh, it doesn't get viruses, except all the viruses it gets. Good for editing videos, though. If I had an Apple, that's what I would be using it for. It would be the only thing I used my Mac for. Be like, oh yeah, I got Final Cut Pro on there. That's what I'm using it for. That would be me with an Apple, like, oh yeah, that's the editing computer. It's down there in the dungeon somewhere. I expected them to be a little bit silent about third-party devs on the actual presentation, and then days after, like, people would start coming out of the woodwork, like, oh yeah, expect fucking Andromeda on Switch. It's not happening. Probably won't happen, because EA doesn't commit. When they say they will commit, they don't commit. Ubisoft, Lord fucking knows. Rayman Legends was supposed to be a exclusive on the Wii U, and it's out for everything now, so have fun with that. It's the usual suspects, basically, like, beyond Bethesda. Like, Bethesda can, oh yeah, here's a 6-year-old game. Like, it's the usual suspects, the guys who's always like, oh yeah, we're third-party devs, we're gonna support the Nintendo. They said the exact same thing when the Wii U came out. Like, it was these exact companies. It was Sega, it was Ubisoft, and it was EA. Exact same companies, and they're probably just gonna make mediocre ports of their games, as they did on the Wii U, as they did on the Wii, and then they're gonna abandon the fuck out of it. Because the Wii U launched with fucking Assassin's Creed 3, which was like a big title at the time, which was like, oh, whoa, it's getting next-gen titles. And none of the other Assassin's Creeds came out for it. Nintendo, get your shit together. Really, get your shit together. Like, this is ridiculous. If you don't come out at E3 and like, oh yeah, it was a joke, we're giving you the SNES game, or something, I think you're gonna lose everybody, because people were so excited about the Switch on the presentation, and then the day after, you came out with the actual details of how online is gonna work, and everybody just left. If you don't do something now, they're gonna stay away. You're not gonna get anything out of that machine. Like, it's gonna be selling well enough to maybe warrant a Switch 2 or the next Nintendo machine, but if you don't up your game now, I see you going software in 10 years time. Maybe 15. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video and listen to me ramble. If you liked it, remember to like it, I guess. You know what all the other channels tell you to do. And I'll see you guys in another video. Bye!